Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Amazing Spider-Man issue 50. Holy moly, that is a nice cover there, Spidey fighting the Goblin, and we do get that in here. Now, this is $9.99, so it's $10 for this. I like the artwork, I like the other kind of stories going on in here, but if you're not into what this arc is coming for, I totally understand that. I think that there's value in this. Just make your own kind of decision with it. I understand this is coming out 2 times a month, and it went up to $4.99, and that this is pretty much the price of 2 in a one thing, and that can be hard to justify for certain people. I am happy with it, but if you're not and you don't want to go for it, I completely understand that fact. But this cover fits with what's going on here. I just wanted to make sure that I hit on the pricing fact, because that does factor in, because I think we got some pretty good stories in here. The main story gets enough time, in my opinion. We also kind of get an epilogue with it. Then we get some little stories at the back. More often I'm with them. Certain ones are kind of wackier to my kind of taste, but I mean, I still like that we got certain things. So let's jump into the main portion. So we start off in Oscorp's sub-basement, the clean room, as things are going nutty with the living brain. Where's the feedback coming from as we hear squee? I would guess the giant sentient computer brain, as Connors points out to his lab assistant. That's impossible. Its chamber is sequestered from all electrical signals. Can you turn the speakers off? They're not on. It's a mechanical resonance. That's not good. Resonance that just happens to match the frequency of our computers? That doesn't sound like feedback. It sounds like a message. Tick, 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 tick. Get me Peter Parker, as a message comes in. And it's like, what? So then we shift off into Chelsea, and we see Spidey dealing with this asshole. You got your webbing all over my suit. This is a teaching moment, Kian. Those platforms are for washing windows, not taking real estate photos. You could have hurt yourself and people on the ground. The market is tough. I need novel shots of these apartments for my listings. Wait, how does this stuff come off? It dissolves in an hour. An hour? I have a showing in 15 minutes. Maybe next time you'll be happy taking misleading photos from inside the apartment. A fisheye lens is a valid aesthetic choice. Sorry, I've got to take this. Peter, you're not in the office. And it's like, good God. It's kind of funny that he's dealing with this. I know, we implemented Friendly Neighborhood Fridays, remember? I take the day off to go Spider-Manning. Hey, you're not looking to rent, are you? Of course I'd forgotten. Unfortunately, Connors is in a tizzy about the living brain. Something about a message they received. He wants to talk. Sorry, were you renting? Chelsea. And I'm not... Hang on. What do you mean a message, Norman? The living brain knows my secret identity. You promised me I'd be the only one who could access it. It's still in its digital clean room under total data lockdown, but it sounds like I might need your help convincing Connors to keep it that way. And you really shouldn't rent in Chelsea, Peter. It makes much more sense to buy. It's like, okay. I kind of find it funny that we're having this in this real conversation with this like whole thing about like real estate. Buy? Who do you guys think you're talking to? There's a smoking crater where my credit score used to be. Tell Connors not to touch anything. Is he your mortgage guy? The what? I'm on my way. And I love this. I mean, McGinnis's art is great, but that's a really good Spidey shot there. I'm just like, fuck yeah. Whipping. So then we're at Oscorp later. And an analog signal coming from the brain? How's that possible? We think it cannibalized part of its superstructure to form a crude transducer, which is fucking nuts. Think about that. If you're like a machine and you just start like going after yourself to make something like that, I can only imagine it would do such a thing if it was in great distress. Peter, I have to ask, do you have anything to do with the procurement of the living brain? No? Spider-Man entrusted it to Norman and asked that we keep it functional but undisturbed. What's up, Dr. Connors? The analog signal carried a message, a query really, and an odd one. Who is Spider-Man? The brain was hung up on that question. I mean, that's what Spider-Man said. Well, it seems to have found an answer. Peter Parker is not Spider-Man. And it's like, that's kind of weird. What's kind of going on here? What does that mean? We were hoping you could tell us. Maybe it's eliminating candidates, starting with Oscorp employees? It's hard to know until we get another message. Doo-doo-doo. And then we get Peter going to Norman. Knock, knock. Norman, I saw Connors. You got a second? Of course. Just signing some acquisition papers. Acquisitions? Is Oscorp expanding? Rebuilding, I'd say. I let a lot of things go these past years as I focused on my mental health. Some of my previous endeavors are worth bringing back into the fold, which should be scary. It's like, you know I trust you, Norman, but nothing too exciting, right? I'm sorry you still have to ask that, but I understand. No, I'm only making sure Oscorp can sustain itself when I'm ready to pass it along. But that's a conversation for another day. What did you find out? Pass along? How? The living brain is definitely communicating, but I can't make heads or tails of it. The last message seems to be random words, unless they mean something to you. Chalice, starlight, as we see that. And it opens that. It's like, Norman? That's concerning. Those are my private code words, as we see his gold goblin suit. But that's not it. That's not the last of it. It looks like the living brain has uncovered a dark secret. Peter, I'm the gold goblin. Haha. You figured out your password? How? I thought it was cut off from your servers. Which is like, that's new information. There was a breach traced to an employee's phone, but as far as we can tell, it only had access to the Oscorp server for minutes. Any kind of living organism, especially one like the living brain, yeah, that's enough time to get pretty much everything. Maybe it got further than you thought. The living brain damaged itself to get this message out. Why? We may need to think about replacing Connors and his team. They allowed the living brain to do the exact thing I'm paying them to prevent, even if it was only 2 words. I really wouldn't replace Connors. I mean, granted, it's kind of weird that Connors is in charge of it in the first place. I would think you'd be more suited towards biological kind of things. Now, granted, if you're trying to do biological and mechanical with the living brain, yeah, that makes sense. But it's still, granted, I understand that like he's the one in charge of his employee, but I mean the employee should also be the one that hits more in the repercussions. Oh, actually, it was 3 words: Chalice, Starlight, Peter. I won. Aggregate, and then we get the last one, as we see this great page here of Norman's face and the Green Goblin. And it's like, oh shit. Norman, look what you did. I'm sorry. It's not funny. Norman, don't do this. You were always stupid for a smart kid, Peter. Norman's not here. As he then hits a button and we see the half face with Norman and the Goblin's like, oh shit, that's really good art and really freaky. Then we see that he gets hit with gas. And this is kind of crazy here. Gas, gotta move. Gotta get above it. Come now, Peter. You recognize the smell, the sting at the back of your throat. You won't be able to hold yourself up there for long. But that's still too long for me, I'm afraid, as he then uses his goblin glider to smash into Peter. Barb, send everyone home. Priority 1. Oof. You have a great night, too. Bye now. As it's kind of crazy that he does that. Normally, he'd kind of want more collateral damage as he throws a pumpkin bomb, and it blows into Peter. The gas has taken your spider sense, your strength. No more wall crawling for you. It's like, shit. This is planning. This is like Norman Goblin on point. Though I suppose that's obvious by now. I was saving this for a more dramatic reveal, but don't worry. I still have a lot of fun things planned. Nothing to say, Peter? Peter? Norman's right. The gas? I'm just Peter Parker now. No. This is why I'm here. I'm still breathing. I'm still Spider-Man. And Norman is, as he's ripping off his clothes to get into his Spider-Man outfit. And then we see him blast out. Oh god, that is a really good Goblin shot there. 2-page. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck's gonna go on here? Don't break just yet, my boy. As he then slams into Peter as he's almost pretty much got himself back into his Spidey outfit. And I really like the kind of use of panels here. Get full top page as we then transition down to the bottom. I'm nowhere near done with you. That laugh, it's the same. Always the same. Where are you going, Petey boy? Not just laughing at me. It doesn't scare me anymore. It makes me angry as we then get this great shot of Pete punching him. Just... Who's funny now? Peter, that hurt you much more than it hurt me. As your supervisor, I have to say it was a terrible use of your time. It's my day off. I can do whatever I want. And I love that. Like, Pete's making jokes, but they're kind of subdued jokes. It's like, we'll have to see how this works. Careful, Peter. You only have proportionate strength of a whiny little milksop now. You promised this wouldn't happen, Norman. He did, but I'm not him. I'm the thing he birthed. The thing Sin Eater tried to kill. The thing that made Ashley Kafka a queen. The thing that lived in you. We got up to a lot together. Amazing Spider-Man 927. And it's like, oh shit, because that starts coming back. Some of it you remember, some of it you don't. You made a date with me tonight, remember? I did back in Amazing Spider-Man 940. Do you recognize me now? You were buried, trapped with Kraven's spear. How did you get back into Norman? Why don't you ask him? As he then takes off the mask and shifts into Norman mode. I didn't have a choice. You understand that, don't you, Peter? They weren't your sins to carry. I had to get them out of you. I'm so sorry. I didn't have a choice. And we see Norman just looking so downtrodden and apologizing to Peter. It's like, oh, shit. We then get back to Connors. That sound, another message? This is no resonance. It's the sound of twisting metal. Whatever's happening inside that brain is catastrophic. It's killing itself. That's what they think. It's doing something. No, this isn't a death. It's a birth. It's like, yep. I tried, Peter. I tried. Norman, I need you to do something for me. Snap out of it! As he slaps him. It's like, whoa. You have to tell me right now. Does he know? What? He has... if he has it, everyone I love is in danger. Did he find it? Tell me. Tell you what? My lab. Did you tell him? Did you let him into my lab? It's like, oh, okay, huh. Your lab, eh? So he then shifts back to Goblin and then butts Peter. It's like, shit. And then just cracks him. I love they really do the action well in this one. I'm impressed, Peter. You two did manage to keep something from me. Turnabout is fair play, I suppose. Let's go see what you've been hiding. But first, let's get your face back on. You're a mess. It's like shit, as he does put Pete's mask back on and then gets the glider. We're back to Connors. Dr. Connors, get out of there. It's imploding. I don't think so. I think it's hatching. As we then see an arm burst out of the brain, and we see that's like, I lived, but it was not enough. I had to walk. This transformation cost me much. I am the walking brain, and I bring you this message. Peter Parker is not Spider-Man. And we don't really get this until the end. It's like, oh shit. Hey ho, to your lab we go. As that's a crazy looking one. Really good as he's just dragging Peter and then thrashes him into there. Now, if I were a gullible simpleton, where would I hide my precious secrets? I don't see any music boxes. Don't. Quiet, I want to guess. Oh, is that Bug from your Oscorp suit? But you made such a show of retiring it. This is technically my property, you know, along with anything you were dumb enough to hide inside of it. It's like, you gonna get that. What secrets were you so keen to keep from me? Goblin, don't what? Don't punish you for being trusting Rube. Don't take it all away from you one last time. Don't think for a second I didn't plan on this happening. Bug, it's the Goblin's birthday. Give him his present. It's like, alright, Peter, what's the plan here? Happy birthday, this is for you, huh? As it then blasts gas at the Goblin. And it's like, oh, what? What did you do to me? I tricked you into taking me to my lab, where I keep the gas I reverse engineered to take away your powers. There we go, buddy! Which means your Goblin strength is gone, which means I even the odds, which means I haven't done anything to you yet. And then we see him just cracking off another great page. It's like, yeah, this is good. I love this art. And I love that it's in the same kind of style as like the old school kind of Spidey comics there with the colors. You think I wasn't ready for you? You think I didn't see this coming? Bam, thump. I've seen it all before, Norman. Every one of your moves. And then he jumps out of the way. The glider. You're so predictable. Why do you think I took this job? No matter what I said, no matter how hard I tried, I never trusted you. And it's like, damn. That's a big thing. Peter Parker is not Spider-Man. Peter Parker is not Spider-Man. Yes, we got the message. All right, Peter. You win. I'm beaten. I think it's time. Time I told you everything. Everything we did together. What? It is not a message. I had so much fun rattling around in that brain of yours. I didn't want to leave, so I left something behind just in case. Are you getting it? I just had the thing from, I had just the thing from my time possessing Queen Goblin. It's like, oh god. So these sins were able to keep themselves intact and understanding throughout the whole thing. The Winkler device. No. Oh yes, we used it after we buried Craven together. Unfortunately, Kafka learned we had used it together, back in Amazing Spider-Man 942. I was so worried she would ruin my surprise. Ha! I lied about many things, but not... What did you do to me? Peter Parker's not Spider-Man is a warning. Dr. Jekyll was heckled by Peter's pride, so he fed the boy to Mr. Hyde. Ah! And this is what we get. You remember how I was like, wow, I can't believe they only did a little bit of that whole bit with Peter Parker as like the Goblin. They are not just leaving that. We are now truly exploring that, at least within these 4 issues that we're seeing, so we'll see how this goes. I know the trigger phrase is a little silly. What did you do to attaboy, ha, as they're both laughing Goblin together. Now granted, they don't have their superpowers at this point, but that's not going to stop him as we see this crazy one of him laughing like the Goblin having ripped the mask off. And it's like, oh god, I'm glad that they didn't just leave that one off with Spidey's like the Spidey hunt that we got. But this is going to be crazy. Now we don't have Norman as the Gold Goblin fighting this off. We've got 2 goblins pretty much running around. What are we going to be able to do? The walking brain understands what's going to go on, but what's going to happen? We need Miles. We need Jackpot. We need a lot of people. Craven and the others might. I don't know. Like the Sinister Six against essentially 2 Normans. Whew. So we shift, and the end part of this, I have to look. I have to know. The silent laughter rang through the night, wrested me from bed, put me to this hungry work, calling me to its source. To know if I had truly banished it to the ground, I look, and then I know. The sins of Norman Osborn are no longer buried here, if they ever were. They have gone home, free to do their terrible work, to be continued. It's like, ah, shit! This is nuts. I'm glad that they've kind of brought this back and are actually going to explore it pretty fully. We then get a cool fan page for leathers, and then we start going into our other ones. So we see that Spidey is going after Black Cat. So these are not tied in at the moment with what's been going on in the story. So these are their own kind of little things. Come on, Cat. Are you really going to make me chase you through the whole Blam City? It's exhausting. You can always stop trying to arrest me. Yeah, no, you can't just rob a museum and expect me to ignore it. Speaking of, why steal that painting? I mean, it was in an exhibit called Talented Forgeries, The Art of the Fake. I know counterfeits, guaranteed not real, not valuable, a fun curiosity but worthless. But even if it's a fake, it's not your fake. What can I say? It speaks to me. I have to have it. By the way, fasten your seatbelt, sweetie. As she pretty much throws out this thing and cracks out this tractor trailer's tires. And Spidey is able to get himself off of that. It's like, oh shit. This is going to be a bumpy ride. And then we see that Cat's gone. It's like, oh shit. And I really like the art style. It's kind of brighter, even though it's dark. It's very interesting. I should be used to that by now. I don't think she'd go back to her place, but I feel I should check it out anyway. For clues or something. Clues? Really? When did this become an episode of CSI Someplace? Recapping. In the past month, Cat's robbed God knows how many places, always stealing inexpensive or mostly worthless items, leaving the real valuables behind. The painting she stole today is a known forgery, but the original was framed next to it for comparison, which she left untouched. Cat's litter box, aka her home. Huh? This is the painting Cat just stole. How the heck did she get it here so fast? And her other ill-gotten gains. Beautiful, but what's this? Confidential for Arachne Man's eyes only. Poor little moi? I'm touched. Sweetie, don't try to stop me. Not this time. This is way more than just a robbery. It's personal. What are you up to, Cat? As we then see him shift back over and get to what's going on. Peter Parker's pad, aka his home. If it is personal, there's probably some sort of connection between the different robberies. So let's surf the net, shall we? Found it. Only took all night. Should have been obvious from day one. I know what she's doing. I know why she's doing it. And I think I know what her next target is. Which means Cat isn't going to give it up without some sort of major league fight scene. 471.18A, B, C, and there she is all the way up there. Box 471.18D. The one that got away. Not this time. And we see that Spidey gets there. I asked you nicely, please don't rob the museum. But did you listen to me? Insert a big no here. You do know why I had to do this. I think so. He would have turned 50 today. Yeah, Dad's life as a petty thief started great, but he soon suffered one failure after another. But for this special birthday, just this one time, I wanted to give him a win. I know, the art you've been taking, they're the same pieces he failed to steal. That failure cost him 5 years in Rikers. You're a good daughter, Kat, but you know I can't let you compound his mistakes. It's like, wow, that's actually interesting there for her to be doing it like that. I know, but you're not built to walk in the gray. I also know 2 other things. I know what I have to do, and I know I can't let you stop me. Yikes! As he then as he falls down, the luck pretty much screwing him over. Woo! Not sure why, but I felt the need to check out her apartment again, and I found the mother lode. Everything she'd stolen in the past months. Kat left the treasures behind with a letter telling where each piece belonged. She had successfully completed what her father began, so she no longer needed to keep any of what she took. In her words, they were not stolen, just temporarily borrowed. Kat says I'm not built to web sling in the gray, so I'm not sure I can buy all that. But in the end, everything was returned to their owners, and nobody pressed charges. So maybe Shakespeare was right. All is well that ends well. And that's just a really kind of cool story. I kind of just liked seeing Spidey and Black Cat kind of deal with this, and that is something that Black Cat would do. It's for her father. It's for his 50th. She's stealing all the stuff that he failed to steal and then returning it. And it's really kind of cool. I just like them doing all that kind of stuff. And the art just really worked very well. I'm just like, yeah, we get really kind of cool looks at Cat and Spidey. So let us shift to the next one. Time to make the donuts. And I actually really enjoy this story and really like the art style too. How do you do it? Day after day, the same thing. Don't you get bored? The same process. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Well, I have to ask, don't you get bored? What do you mean? You ask me the same question every single day. Just take the donut, Spidey. How do you get these so good? I do the same thing again and again and again every working day of my life. The power is in the repetition. It's muscle memory and striving to be perfect and the same each day. I appreciate you, Lionel. You're a wise man. Ring-a-ling, ding-a-ling. Mom, you okay? I left it by the... No, wait, damn it. I have it here in my jacket pocket. I'm sorry. I'll close up the truck. No, it's fine. I know I'll lose money. God, I'm such an idiot. Everything okay? Yeah, dude. I just have my mom's meds, and she needs them. I better get home. Traffic's going to be terrible. Or give me a free donut, and I'll deliver them. And it's like... Yeah. Spidey's like, just give me a free donut. I got this. It is almost rush hour. The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man laughs at rush hour from above. And I'm like, this is doing good. Nikesh Shukla. Yeah, I know he's I know that they're doing Spider-Man India, I think. Let's see. Because they're talking about all the different kind of Spidey stories you get here. The Marv Wolfman one was good. Yeah, Spider-Man India. I'm like, after reading this one, honestly, really gets Peter's voice. It is almost rush hour. A friendly neighborhood Spider-Man laughs. Yes. She gets pretty nauseous after taking them. You got time to sit with her and make sure she's okay? Oh, yeah, sure. No problem. Say if it's a problem. No problem. Gonna be late to meet Randy. At this point, I guess he's used to it. The thing I do for a free donut. I should have gotten a flat white thrown in as well. What even is a flat white? And I like seeing... That's a really good Spidey scene. Just him seeing him swinging and has even the webs going as in between like that. Lionel's mom. I have your meds. Sorry I'm late. I'm a friendly neighborhood. Never mind. I know who you are. You can call me Mrs. King. I have your meds. I know. Come in. Have a cup of tea with me. Lionel always has a cup of tea. I really have to be destroying half the city defending us from goons? Harsh. You can give me 20 minutes. I could make you a sandwich. And this is a really kind of cool little scene. And I kind of appreciate these because, yes, fighting goons is important, but he just sits with her and kind of like has a nice time with her. When was the last time you had someone make you a meal? It's been a while for sure. Lionel loves my leftover roast chicken sandwich. Seeing as he's not coming tonight, I guess it's got your name on it. Gimme. You're always in a rush. Bad guys be bad guying, I guess. I get the feeling you're running away from something, not towards it. Watch out! As we see water for tea going kind of nutty. Thank God I was here, Ms. King. You gotta be careful. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You turned off the heat too quickly. It's not ready. Isn't it? Haven't you ever used a kettle before? I've seen death traps, and that kettle's a death trap. Mr. King bought that for me when we were first married. It works fine. Thanks, Mrs. King. It looks delicious. I don't suppose you remember me, do you? Sorry, Mrs. King. I can't say I do. Did I do you wrong? I'm sorry if I did. It's pro forma for me. Don't do that. Don't do yourself down like that. Everyone else is waiting for the opportunity to do that. Don't do their job for them. And that part hit for me. I'm like, yeah, Spidey does that, and I get that for other people doing that, and have to catch myself doing that too. And that's very wise words. Anyway, it was years ago. I was walking my boy to school. He loved school so much. Lionel loved school, strange child. I hated school, and I was good at it. So was my boy. I'm like, but that's the thing. I'm like, I liked school too. I never knew how you got into all those fights in the first place. I'll take it from here, gang. Be on your way. Stay in school. As we see Scorpion. Then, wow. And it's really kind of crazy. Time to make the donuts. When it comes down to it, I prefer a world where you're around. And I think that kind of helped inform Lionel as well. 5 glorious minutes later. I find it hard to relax. Everything is heightened. At all times. I have to be sharp, aware of my surroundings, never in the moment. What were you thinking when you ate my sandwich? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Time stood still for the length of the sandwich. It was as if we were the only people in the world. That's what food is. A time machine. I know you've been to other planets, to multiverses. You've seen things my brain can't comprehend. But I know the power that a good home-cooked meal can deliver. It's why I taught Lionel to cook first chance I got. I'm like, yes, I actually really like the exploration of that for food. I can't remember the last time I cooked. You give and you give and you give, but what do you ever give to yourself? We have to give ourselves nourishment. Food is not fuel. Yeah. It's a moment in time, a vibrant reminder of life. Flavor, texture, taste, it reminds us of the simple pleasures. Did you teach Lionel how to make those donuts? No. I taught him how to make a loaf of bread. The rest he taught himself. I think that's kind of linking up him saying that line with the donuts to why he does it. Every time I felt like I did a good job, I treated myself to one of your son's donuts. Then I was sad every time I didn't eat one. Then I just became a regular customer. Man, he's onto something. You got an oven? I think so. I've never turned it on. Why don't I teach you a simple bread? Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Go, someone needs you. Can I stop by tomorrow? Food is a time machine. Huh? Perfect. Same time. Bring an apron. See you then. Right now, though, it's time to make the donuts. And I'm like, I really love that one. That was a really good one, and those two just really hit. Now, this is Amazing Spider-Man, and the Thing thrice it's all right, as we see him kind of in this kind of... this art style is friggin' nutty and gnarly and crazy. By Lee Gatlin. Looks like Rhino might be up to his old tricks, and he's not alone. They're keeping real quiet, and now they've cut the lights. What are they up to? Web shoot first, and Web ask questions later. Better make this fast. I had to drop in like this, but I was in the neighborhood and thought to swing by. Somebody hit the lights! As he's webbed up everybody. It's like, ah shit, what the fuck's going on? Forsooth! What are you doing, Webhead? For crying out loud! To me, my X-Men, your silhouette, you look just like the Rhino. Big galoot, pointy thing on top. Why are you wearing a party hat? It's a birthday party, but why are you in the dark? It's a surprise party. Hello? For the watcher. It's like... The next day, the Baxter building's swell and all, but sometimes a fella's gotta stretch his legs. Is that ice cream? As ice cream's falling everywhere. A direct hit. The ever-loving bull's-eyed thing. Ha! Hey, it's the torch. Hey, drop an ice cream cone on me, will you? Why on him? As he then falls down and looks like the Rhino. Hey, now I look like the Rhino. I said I look like the Rhino. Sorry! As he gets webbed up. And then we see that the Rhino busts through a bank, and Thing's trying to stop him. And saying that he was taking it easy on him, as he gets, like, pretty much put in a wall. And then he's saying it's funny that the actual Rhino pops up and the Webhead's MIA. Sorry, I've told the Commissioner the Spidey signal doesn't work so good in the daytime. Hold it right there, fellas. The thing is, the thing is we need to figure out who the Thing is and who's the Rhino. Now, normally I'd just use my Spidey sense to suss it out. Lickety split. Oh, good grief. But Charlie Brown, since you're both apparently wishing me bodily harm, that's a no-go. It's time for some good old-fashioned detective work. As he pretty much gets Rhino to try and say the Thing's catchphrase, and instead he says, "Suffering succotash." I do say that sometimes, as we get to the end, and Spidey webs up the Rhino. It's like... This one was a good one, too. Secrets by Joe Kelly and Juan Ferreira. Ferreira. New York, the Sanctum Sanctorum, 9 months ago. Doc, Hey, is this a bad time? The worst, actually. The worst. Got it. Cool. With all due respect to your boundaries, I think I'm gonna die. As we see Spidey, I love the artwork really selling the mysticalness of everything going on, and Spidey being like, I'm afraid! And I love how they're able to write Spidey and Doctor Strange in here. Niflheim imps. You're definitely gonna die. Can we make that not happen? It really is a bad time. Doc, and he gets poofed in. Poof. And I think, sure, why not? A night out with a Thunder God will be top 10 events of a lifetime. But then we get there, and this crone, Spider-Man, please. As we see this weird kind of mystic bot kind of helping him out. Is that offensive? Sorry. Thor called her that scary witch lady. Wants a tip for the coat check. Peter, I really need to concentrate. I don't have a coat. I tried to diffuse the tension with a little Norse humor. Maybe that was offensive? Dog, ugh! Sorry, Peter. Like I said, worst possible timing. Don't look so scared. Just another day at the office for the Sorcerer Supreme. I'll survive. I don't have a choice. It's like... Strange just looks fucking beaten as shit, and it's like... I really feel for him. Love this. Do you want to talk about it? And I love this. Like, that's one of Pete's powers, too. Or he's like, do you want to talk about it? He actually says that for his friend. As we also see the bot taking the fucking imps. And I love that we get a little panel, and then I'm like, oh god, and he's like, you're all done, Peter. As he's, like, thankful for that. Stay out of Asgardian beer halls. Oh, wow, yeah, thanks, Doc. If I can repay the favor with advice, because I'm broke, there's a saying. We're only as sick as our secrets. Yes, generally I agree, but this one is too infectious to share. As we then see the bot, like, helping him out with other kind of stuff, and his arm looks all gnarly. He's like, oh, shit. I can handle it, Doc. I'm masked up. Good one, kid. Classic pandemic humor. It's like, that worked out pretty well. I'm like, alright. What if I just sit here and don't talk? I'll hold your hand, the not gross one. Goodbye, Peter, as he poofs him back out. Sick as our secrets. Maybe next time the Covenant calls. For now, get this crap out of me before I lose my nerve. And he then bites down on the thing, and we hear him scream, good luck, Doc. Oh, you won. The end for now. And it's like, ooh, okay, the end for now? We'll have to see if that pops back up at some point. Yes. I always love the crossing over with that. So, here we go. We are now in the epilogue from what we were seeing before. Oscorp sub-basement clean room. I have to ask you to back away from that. Status compromised. Under no circumstances are you to access Oscorp data. Time is short. I fear we are already too late. Doc, he's assessing the main server. In that case, I have to insist. White chocolate eschews cocoa solids for cocoa butter, resulting in the confection's pale color. I have cannibalized the structure of my brain to create this body. Please do not yank on my mind. So, pretty much, his body is his mind too. That's nuts. Hey, what is that? He's hijacking the security cameras. You look much better like this. Green Goblin, he has Spider-Man. What's he doing to him? There's that smile. We've got to help him now. Yes, we'll take the access tunnels. Fortunately, this facility was only made to keep my thoughts contained. It is no match for a walking brain. Wait, you're leaving? But Spider-Man. That is not Spider-Man. Not anymore. I'm the only one who can save him now. Yes, help, please. If you want to help, you will follow me. And I love this. We're in. That's not what my face meant. Quiet, Doug. Just tell us our next move, Brain. It's like, yeah, Doug. Fuck that. You're helping. It's simple. Walk this way. Epilogue. Zeb Wells, Todd Nuck as the artist. And I'm like, alright, man. We got some people working on it. And then, of course, we see a tease for the next one. And, man, this was a gnarly one for me. I liked a lot of the stories. I love the main one, and I love that we are not just like, oh, Spidey is Goblin, we just, like, through that, we're not exploring it. No, we teased, we did a little bit with it, now we're actually delivering on it. Seeing that Norman had a thing to depower Spider-Man, and Spider-Man had a thing to depower Norman, but then Norman's like, I fucked with your brain with the Winkler device. Hello, Spidey Goblin. It's like, this is bad. You know how I was probably talking back then? I was like, this would be a horrendous scenario of Peter and the Peter Green Goblin Eyes would be like a horrendous thing. Now we are definitely going to see it. Now we have to see who is going to be able to deal with this. I know I was talking about like Miles and the rest. That would be cool. I actually hope that they focus on what they're kind of teasing here of the living brain, now the walking brain, and Kurt Connors and them doing their thing, seeing how their plans. I want them to hopefully take point. Now, granted, I do want Miles, Spider-Boy, Jackpot, the rest of the Spidey family to potentially pop in and help out with this because it's going to be a big thing. Shit, we might even have the Sinister Six popping up and having to kind of deal with this because two Norman Osborn things like this are going to be nuts. Now, granted, we'll have to see how they kind of work out since they're both depowered at this point, but they probably will repower themselves up. And I really enjoyed all but like one of the stories here. Now, granted, this was fine. I kind of liked the funniness of it, but I really liked Time to Make the Donuts, Black Cat doing her thing for her father, and Spidey checking in on Doctor Strange. And I hope that we get more of that kind of stuff. And that's why I pretty much think that I got the value out of this for $10. And if that sounds cool to you, I hope you check it out. And I hope that you like this and enjoy this and like the look into Spidey we get for this. Because it was very kind of consistent writing-wise of Peter's voice for me throughout the comic. But if it's not, I completely understand that. It's a pretty big ask. But I really liked it. I really liked all the different... I like the art styles. Even those that don't really jive with me that much, I still like this. This is still pretty good. It's just, I'm like, okay. It's mainly the storying kind of it for it, and it's still not bad. Just not to my... not to what I usually look for. But I'm glad that I have it, so that I'm like, hey, see what kind of goes on with it. But... really good, and I cannot wait to see what kind of is going to be going on next, because this is some big shit that they're doing, and I'm glad that they're fucking digging into it. Whew. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.